Okay. Okie dokie. It says I'm live. Let's see if we can get some people in here. Yep. See if we can. I hope I didn't send something screwy here. YouTube's always seems to want to change things. All right. Let's see if we can get everything going here. We can get a few people in here. Stay warmed up this Sunday morning if we can. It's Christmas Eve. I don't know how busy we're going to be this morning. Hopefully, we'll get a few in here. I signed on about a minute early, so it may throw some people off a little bit. We'll see. See if we can get a few chatters in here. I'm back up here at the shop. A little bit cool, but see if we can get this little small heater kicking out a little bit better. Turn it up a little bit. Let's see if it throws the heat on there a little bit better. Oh, man. Let's see if we can get one or two people started this morning. Let's see if we can. Somebody wants to jump out here and chat. I didn't have much of a gathering last week. I was sick last week, and it was rainy and cold, messy, and I just did not want to fight the elements last week. It's back to normal this week. I mean, it's a nice, clear day outside. Still chilly and everything, but it's a nice day and everything. All right. Let's see. Where's everybody at this morning? Of course, everybody may have plans this morning. That's the thing about doing something on Christmas Eve. A lot of people are going to have plans to do other things and are not going to flip on YouTube and try to do a live chat. So I may be limited, showing a few in here, but not getting anybody to chat yet. All right, where are the chatters at? All right. I don't see Jamie and Joey and some of the ones that are usually first on the scene. I'm going to have to rub my hands together. Still a little bit nippy here in the shop. I got my little foot warmer. Down here keeping my feet toasty anyway. I'm not keeping the rest of me toasty. But we'll see how things go this morning. So far, so good, I guess. Few out here. I'm not seeing any chatting though. Where's Jerome and Jerry and some of the rest of them out there? I'm calling out the names, but I'm not seeing them online yet. Usually they're right up here with me. Like I said, last week, starting off like I did, I didn't get much. I wasn't online very long. And that kind of disturbs things, I know. But maybe we can get a few more people jumping in here in just a few minutes. Got some jumping in, but nobody's chatting yet. Get the keyboard started here, boys. Let's see what's going on. Yep. Yep. Let the keyboards jump in here. I can't communicate with you if I don't get some keyboard communication there. I mean, I can just keep on talking. I guess I'll drink my Gatorade here. Get my Gatorade and get a little liquids in here. Get my voice cleared out. I mean, it's tough to get started sometimes on Christmas morning. I hope everybody has big plans for Christmas. We do. I've got to hustle on back down to the house as soon as I can to help Barbara on a few things. We got my children coming over for lunchtime, and so we'll have our get together then. My grandson and my son and his wife and my daughter, just our get together. I don't have a huge family to get together, but that's fine with me. It's big enough to get what we want done and enjoy the conversation and everything. So we can do what we can do. Dang, this is the weakest conversation I've had in a long time. I don't know what's going on. Where Jamie and Joy and all of them that jump in here first usually are at. Had to see. I don't know. I know I've checked my chat here a couple times. It seems to be working. Somebody else check the chat for me and let me make sure it's working right. I see 4 or 5 on here. If they would just say something so I know everything's working proper. Just say hello, whatever. Let's get it started here. But that's the way it happens sometimes. You get people that, I guess there's always that situation. You get people watching and not chatting. But I like to see the chatters in here. I like to see people converse with me, because otherwise I have very little to talk about other than what we've been doing in the shop here. We finished up our Dixie chopper here and that sort of stuff. And we, Jim's got the shop cleaned up pretty good, and we are just tidying up and straightening up for the winter time and that sort of stuff. But it is what it is. There's somebody in. Hey, David. I'm feeling pretty good. And I was about to get a complex there. Nobody jumping in for a while. But that's what happens when you're doing a live chat. Sometimes you're at the mercy of, the people online and everything. I know it being Christmas Eve, a lot of people won't even be out here on a live chat. They'll probably be doing something, getting ready for church service, getting ready for a lunch like we're doing ourselves. I've got to go down and help my wife in a little bit because we have our family coming in, and that sort of stuff. So it is what it is. I mean, you got to go with the flow. But I like to be able to get out here and have a little bit of chatting and going on this morning, and see what people are interested in, see what we can stir up. I know a lot of people are worried about this year on the economy and everything. I know that has to work on a lot of people's minds. I mean, I've noticed just myself how freight and being in the freight business for so many years, freight has fallen off quicker this year than it has in years past as far as peak, and it's not as busy this holiday season as it has been. So that in itself's a little bit different. But how is it where you're at, everybody? I mean, just let me know. I know that, like I said, I'm not seeing the volume. I'm not seeing the volume of trucks and everything else like I have in years past, and the hurrying and scurrying, I guess you might say. I mean, there's certain elements that are kind of pushed a little bit, I guess, but as a whole, the whole general volume seems to be off from what it used to be, or has been in the past few years. Of course, the COVID years, everybody stuck inside. It really made the volume heavy because that's all they could do is get stuff online. Now we're back to pretty much normal situation, and I don't know if it's because the stores are restocked and their inventories are better or whatever. But as far as working up to the peak season, I don't think it was as rush from everything I've seen like it has been. But you never know. Never know. I guess the analysts will give us a breakdown on that after Christmas and see how much see if Christmas turned out to be a boom or a bust. I don't know what it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be down from what it has been. Yeah, I think so too, David. I think it's just tougher to make ends meet now. I mean, you look at the economy, and they keep saying, "Oh yeah, the stock market's good and this is good," but that's just showing the upper tier. That's showing what the rich people are doing. The average person, he's not worried about the stock market as much as he is the grocery market. I mean, the average person is worried about what the cost of Coca-Cola is and what the cost of mayonnaise is, or what the cost of bread and milk and eggs and meat and just the normal thing. They're not worried about you know what GM's selling for or what Boeing's selling for. I mean, those kind of things aren't what the average day person worries about. I'm having to take a break a little bit. I went to a pulmonary doctor, and they gave me what they call a sniff test this week. I'm having issues breathing better. I mean, I know some people that are online notice this and everything. I'm struggling even when I'm talking to be able to get a full breath, full lung capacity of breath, and it's changing the way I do a lot of things. Well, I'm doing pretty good. I was wondering where you were at, Jamie. I was getting worried. I'm doing better. Last week was just such a lousy weather week. I didn't want to get up here at the shop. I mean, it was pouring down rain down here last Sunday, and cold and rainy, and I just didn't want to take the risk of getting wet and damp and having to sit up here in a shop I've just got my little space heater right here. When I come up here on Sundays, I don't try to heat up the whole shop. I just have a little space heater underneath me, and I do it that way. Uh, well, I hope you're having a Merry Christmas, Jamie. Are you back up north where the snow should be, I guess? Or are you back down south? I guess Jamie goes where the weather's best, I guess, or can anyway, with your jobs. And you said you had that job in Washington D.C. to do. Ah, smart man, back down in Pensacola. Yeah, Pensacola. Pensacola is definitely a lot warmer than Boston and anywhere up there. I know that's for sure. So it's probably already in the 60s down there. Whereas we're right here, we're just, I think it was 38 degrees a while ago when I left to come up to the shop. So it's still kind of chilly here in the Carolinas. But what is it up there in Canada, David? Now, which part of Canada are you in, David? I never can remember everybody. But and Jamie, how are you seeing the economy coming around? I'm seeing a lot of slowdown in the economy, that people aren't buying big ticket items and different things. You're seeing car lots fill back up, and you're seeing car deals trying to be done. All these greedy car dealers back during COVID got so greedy and holding cars back and bumping way past retail market price and everything else. Now these same car dealers they were greedy at one time. Now they're hurting a little bit. But like the old saying goes, what goes around comes around, or what comes around goes around. Which way is it? But karma will usually get you if you're in bad shape. Oh, you were in Charlotte Tuesday and you didn't give me a call. So you ran through there quick then, did you? Oh, you're 200 miles north of Toronto. Okay. It's about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Yeah, that is different for Canada, isn't it, this time of year? Usually y'all socked in for snow pretty good. You're never going to bother me. Anytime you're coming through Charlotte, you can always give me a call. If we can take a few minutes out, we'll do it, Jamie. Never a bother. You saw how laid back I am. I'm not I don't have anything demanding. You're more than welcome to stop in and give me a call. Say, let's go grab us a bite. We'll go get us another cheeseburger or something. 60 degrees in Pensacola, huh? Well, that's good. That's good. I'd like for it to. I wish it were 60 degrees here. Of course, I don't mind the weather changes too much. I don't want to work out in it like I used to. I used to have to work in all sorts of different weather. Right now, I can pick and choose, and I choose not to work in it now. That's my motto now. I choose not to work in it. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, the Dixie Chopper's finished. We got the belts on it and the new clutch on it. It's finished and running good. Cost me about $1,000 to get all the parts and everything for it. That clutch was 700 and I forgot what it was, 700 something dollars. But it works fine. That's the main thing. It's working. I don't know what happened on that last one. I bought one that didn't work and didn't realize it till it was too late, and I didn't get anything back on it. But no, we got this one running good and new belts on it, and Jim done a lot of work to it. And she's ready for next year. Hopefully she'll last me a long time. It's got low hours on it anyway. But I got Jimmy off this week. Jim's on vacation this week. I give him a week's vacation around Christmas. I told him, I said, we're slow. Just take the week off. And he liked that, having the week off. And he's got a lot of family that comes in from New York and different places up north and comes down to see him. And So that's a 72-inch mower deck. That's the biggest. This one right here, I was told, was the biggest one they ever made, period. I mean, it's got that 3-cylinder Caterpillar diesel in it. And then it's got the 72-inch mowing deck. They made one other one that had multiple wheels on it. So for the real high end bank stuff, I'm trying to think. I think it was 4-wheel drive. I think they had a 4-wheel drive model, and they only made just a few of those. But this is, as far as a normal mower, this straight up, this is the largest one that Dixie Chopper ever made, from what I was told. Now they're not even putting these diesel engines in them anymore. I don't know what they're doing. I think they got big gas engines. They don't have a diesel in them anymore. But this one, I love it. It does great. Hopefully it'll do good for me for the rest of my life, and I'll be happy with it. But as far as getting it fixed up and everything, I think we got it back to ship shape and everything right now. Doing pretty good. It sounds good. It sounds good and runs good. I'll crank it up and give a demo one day when the grass starts growing again and that sort of stuff. I'll give it a demo, and we'll show everybody what it'll do. But I'm real happy with it. Always have been. Always enjoyed it. It rides good and everything. I recovered the seat on it. The seat had started cracking, but as far as the hours on it, it's low hours, and that's an electric up and down deck. Hey, Jerome, Merry Christmas Eve to you too. Merry Christmas tomorrow. Yeah, well, 334. Good gracious. Now, where at in North Carolina did you get 334? Port diesel users? I don't even know where that is, Jamie. Is that near Charlotte? I'd like to get some 334 now. We've got it as low as 358. We've had it as 358 or 359 over in Shelby. But that's as low as I've seen it so far around here. I'd love to be able to get some under $3 a gallon fuel again. And when I was up in New York, it was 4 something. Oh, you got that in Pensacola? Oh, okay. Yeah, in Pensacola, Florida's tax. I'm trying to think how much highway use tax they got. South Carolina used to be the cheaper on the fuel tax, but now they've bumped theirs up. I used to love to get my quarterly report back each quarter from FedEx, because I would actually get money back on my fuel purchases, because I would buy it in North Carolina and we would get it at the corporate rate just as good as you would in South Carolina. But I ran my miles primarily in South Carolina, a lot of miles in South Carolina. And I would get a heck of a good rebate from the state of South Carolina each quarter. And then they finally changed their fuel tax law around. And so I didn't get quite as much after that. But I used to love to be able to, I'd get a healthy size check each quarter, because it would be, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 sometimes, and tax differential, which I loved that. I mean, that always gave me a little, extra bonus to get something for the business. There was always something I needed to buy and, or pay for or whatever. So that that was always a that was an extra good incentive there when we got that. So I enjoyed it. What else is on people's mind out here? Boy, my little feet are getting toasty, but I may have to move this heater up higher. My feet are toasty. The rest of me is still chilly. But yeah, we're trying to keep our shop clean in here. We've got to work on the lathe we got the lathe and the milling machine over here. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn it. There's the milling machine and the lathe right beside it. And then I got my plasma table right there. No, I actually worked out a deal with Goodyear, and I guess it was through their national account through Goodyear. But I always my local Goodyear dealer used to give me a heck of a good deal, and sometimes I'd get Kelly Springfield, and wouldn't get Goodyear, and I'd get them through Goodyear, but just different ones. But primarily, I kept my trucks in Goodyear. Michelin had a deal with them, and Bridgestone, a few of them, but Michelin was so high, I stuck to Goodyear and got just as good a service. I mean, I had I ran new tires all the way around on my trucks. I never ran caps or anything, and it was expensive, but there's nothing worse than having somebody call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and they threw a cap off, and then the person's going to come out and he's going to charge you for a brand new tire. So you're going to pay full retail, which is probably $800 for a tire that you could have bought for $300. I mean, my tires back then were running me, and I know that people are going to think I'm crazy now because the price is high, but I was getting tires for about $310, $315 a piece. And that was a great deal for those tires. And now I think people are paying $500 and $600. I mean, tires have just doubled in price from what I've heard. But I was buying them at a pretty good price, and I would take advantage of whatever discount I could get through FedEx. But a lot of times it was just straight up better. Oh God, I hate Atlanta. And you cannot find a decent time to go through Atlanta anymore. You can go through Atlanta at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's crowded. I mean, I don't know where the people are going. I mean, it's rush hour at 3 o'clock in the morning on 285 and 285 and 85 through Atlanta. Oh, I know. He's doubled everything. He's doubled everything. And for all these crazy people that think the economy is great, I mean, I feel for them. They're just the average Joe, the average person knows that everything is doubled in price because we're buying the small items. We're buying the small ticket items. We're buying the groceries. We're buying, those kind of things that are repetitive. Uh, it's it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like for it to calm back down. I don't know if, are we going to get enough smart people to put somebody in besides Joe Biden? I mean, and Joe Biden's not going back in. Anybody who thinks that Joe Biden's going to rule, I mean, he's not doing anything now. He's just a figurehead. He's a speech. He reads dialogue, whatever they tell him to read. He can't think. He can't think on his own. If you were to give him anything that requires a lot of thought process, He's not there. I mean, he's staring out into the audience. I mean, if you look at all these press conferences, they showed that press conference a week or two ago, whatever it was, one of few that he's even done. And then he reads out who's going to call on him. That means you've already had this question submitted to the committee. They know exactly what you're going to ask, and he's got a prepared answer. It's not like a press conference. I mean, that to me is just so bizarre. I mean, they've already got that prepared question that his people know about that's handed into them. They come up with the answers that they want Joe to read, and you'll see him just reading the answer. Hey, Walter. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Obama people that are pulling his strings. That's for sure. That's Obama's third term, you might say. I mean, he's not Obama's pulling the strings, him and his other staffers and everything else. I know it. I know that I cannot understand the liberal thinkers right now. I mean, people just have a Trump deranged fear out there so bad. They think orange man bad. We can't have him. Orange man racist. Orange man's Hitler. You know, they'll say anything and everything, and it just boggles my mind that the national media get together and say, "Oh, they used to be that you had to analyze how biased they were, or were they biased, or were they liberal, or were they conservative?" And you kind of think, well, maybe this one's a little more conservative, and they wouldn't show their cards. But now it's blatant. I mean, it's like, heck yeah, I'm liberal, I'm blue as you can be, and and that's what we've got. Yeah, DeSantis is kind of he just hadn't won over the American people. And you got Nikki Haley that's surging a little bit right now, but I'm not certain about her either. I hope we don't get stuck with her, but that's, this next 10 months, these next 10 months are going to be very, very decisive on what we end up with. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I just hope and pray that we can get some logical people that will turn this around, because right now, this, like Jamie was saying earlier, just printing that money like they've been doing is just is crazy, and that's what they've been doing. Yeah, I think so. DeSantis has just not been a good debater. I mean, he's been a good governor for Florida, and he looks strong when he's out there talking about things they're doing and all kind of stuff. And I really thought he was going to be as strong as anything, but he's just faltered when it comes to debates and grabbing the national media like he should. So I don't know what's going to become of him. Maybe he could make a good vice president. I don't know. I mean, I wish Trump hadn't. I think Trump running him down so much really hurt him. That's the one thing about Trump I don't like, that the way he tries to just cut at people and give them names and not give them a fair shake. The name calling just is not very becoming, but that's his style. So you get what you get with Trump. Yeah, I think Trump's he'll get the nomination. I think. Uh, I don't think there's unless the court system just completely keeps him off the ballot. I mean, and that's angered a lot of people. That's angered people that have been against him. Uh, to see the court system do like that. Hey, Aaron, how are you? I hope you're having a good Christmas Eve morning. I'm going to get out here after a while and go back and help Barbara a little bit. She's down there preparing a lunch for us. All my children are coming in, so yeah, we're going to have a good time. At least we hope so. Yeah, I think so, Jamie. It just DeSantis. He's a good man, I think, and he knows how to govern. You can tell that as I might have to get a Kleenex here. Hold on, guys. Chew. Oh crap! I knew I was going to sneeze. I'm going to have to get a. You guys will have to excuse me. It's that time of year. I guess I should have turned away, but hey, it is what it is. Well, thank you, Aaron. I feel pretty good. I'm a little bit under the weather this week. Like a lot of people, I've gotten a little bit of a cold and everything, and as I was saying earlier, I had to. I'm got a runny nose there. Um, I've had to get some pulmonary work done. I'm not able to breathe as good as I used to. My breathing capacity has slowed down or gotten worse. Jamie knows what I'm talking about. Jamie came down. He and I walked out to some of my equipment, and he could tell right. I think he could tell right quick. I get out of breath real easy, and I used to never be that way. But I can just walk out from my house to my. I got a building right beside my house, and I'm totally exhausted by the time I walk out to the building. Yeah, I think so too, David. Uh, he just doesn't look strong on the campaign trail, and that's his worst attribute, I guess you might say. I thought he would be strong on the campaign trail, but he's just not. He's just not getting it. The one that aggravates me the most is Chris Christie. I don't know why in the heck he's even trying to run as a Republican. All he wants to do is tear down the other Republicans and tear down Trump, and he acts more like a Democrat than he does a Republican. Then he's always the one on these Democratic programs over on CNN and MSNBC, and all he wants to do when he's on there is run down Trump and that sort of stuff. I mean, he's just a negative person, and he's only polling like 2%. Why do they even have him on the debates? I mean, he's worthless out there. Yeah, I'm still vertical right now. I don't want to be horizontal. That's for sure. Not with any kind of flowers on top of me, anyway. So yeah, I'm still hanging in there. Yeah, CNN must love Chris Christie, but that's because he's bringing a negative viewpoint about the Republican Party and the Republican views, and that makes no sense. Why he's even running as a Republican? I mean, run as a Democrat if you want to. If you're going to be that negative, run as a Democrat. That's all they're doing. I mean, if you want to get over there and bash Trump and bash the way things are being done, run as a Democrat. you'd be just as successful probably. Yeah, I saw that where the New Hampshire governor, but also saw somebody said that what is it, Sununu or something like that, because they said who knew who Sununu was. That's what the headline was, because they nobody even knew who he was, and it's not like New Hampshire has a lot of pull for the Republican. I mean that's pretty much a liberal state, isn't it? I mean New Hampshire. I mean when you're up in that area, you're pretty much a Democrat anyway. So that's somebody like, although he's a Republican governor though. Yeah. Well, that's I don't know. I don't worry about the endorsements so much. I mean, they the endorsements only carry so much weight, and just because somebody else says they vote for somebody, that's going to automatically sway your vote. Uh, maybe a little bit, maybe not. I don't know. It to me that has never really impressed. It has never impressed me that much. Now it may for some people, I don't know, but for me personally, I've never been that impressed by somebody else's endorsement. Well, I'm going to have to move this little heater. It's got me. It's about too toasty. Let me move my camera here a second. Give me a break here, guys. I'm going to move this up to the top side. Maybe cut that fan back a little bit. My ankles are about scalded down there, but it feels good. My hand's cold, so I'll change it to my hand. I hope that's not too much noise. Is that too much noise coming through on the microphone from this little heater? It's not real bad loud, but it can throw a little bit of noise out there. I never know what the microphone's picking up, but I'll try to talk over it and everything because it's. Do y'all hear that heater? I don't know if you're hearing it or not. Okay, well that's great. That's great. It's just like I said, it's just one of these little small heaters. It does a great job. It was about to burn my legs up though. I had it down here next to my ankles. It was about to burn me up. So I decided to move it up here on the top side where it's still kind of chilly up here. That's about all the heat I need in here when I'm doing this, when I'm doing the podcast. Well, what else is on everybody's mind out there? I'm hoping everybody, like I said, will have a great Christmas. I've enjoyed this Christmas season. It's come and gone pretty quick so far. Try to get a few nice things for the wife. You don't hear it in Oklahoma, do you? Well, that's great. It must have faded out by the time we got to Oklahoma, Aaron. But and maybe it didn't make it up to Canada where David's at. And then Walter, where's Walter? Is Walter in Michigan or is he in Florida? Walter, I always get Walter crossed up where he's at. Is he in Michigan? I can't remember. No noise there. Is okay, well, good. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I hear it right here, right beside me. I was just hoping it wasn't bothering anybody. I guess maybe the noise is projecting more out this way. Yeah, I think it is awesome that we can talk all over. Yeah, Michigan. Okay, I thought it was Michigan, Walter. Yeah, I always try to picture these in my mind and get perspective of where everybody's at. It always gives you a good idea. It makes you feel good when you kind of relate to where people are at. And I always kind of have a picture of where, you know, the states that I've been through, or the layout of the states, or, I always, when somebody mentions a location, I always like having a visual of what I remember or think of, and or something to relate to with each location. I mean, even locations that I've never been to, I have maybe a geographic uh, viewpoint of seeing something about that location that I can relate to. But I mean, I've been to a lot of places. Of course, like I tell a lot of people, I've been to a lot of places, but unfortunately, it was like this. I had a steering wheel in front of me and a glass in front of me, and I saw a lot of green signs all over the United States that says, welcome to here or welcome to there. And I never really got to experience a lot off the interstate, uh, which is bad. And that's my goal in life. And I got to do a little bit of it this past year. I went up to state of New York back during the summer and went to Cooperstown with my daughter and took her up there, and then went over to Albany and met some friends, and then up to Ithaca and met some friends, and different places like that in New York State, and which I really enjoyed. See some beautiful countryside up there. And my daughter was saying something about going to see something in New York City. I go, nope, not going to New York City. I said, the biggest town I went was Albany. I said, I don't want to get into New York City. It's just not my thing. I don't mind all the countryside and everything else, but I don't want to go through New York City. And then we went through a lot of nice big towns in Pennsylvania and on down the East Coast. So I had a good time. Yeah, I don't want to go to Manhattan. You can keep all of that. Uh, I've done it. Don't want to do it anymore. Just not my thing. Some people think they, talk about how they love it and everything else. I never have found the love for that many crowding that many people into a small area. And it's just not my thing. I would much rather, think about like here I am in North Carolina. I'm in a small town. We got a large geographically, where I'm living right here is bigger than New York State, probably. I'm in New York City area. But we don't have, 20 million people in here either. I just couldn't take that. Yeah, I know it. I don't want that rat race. Yeah, I'd rather be out in Oklahoma where the wind never quits blowing, does it? And I'm like I said, I know I've told this before. First time I ever went to Oklahoma, and I was at a truck stop, and it was windy, and it was just blowing. The wind was blowing and blowing, and I asked the guy at the truck stop, and I said, "Man, when is this wind going to die down?" And he says, "Never." I said, "Well, I guess people get used to the open plains and it's windy like that." But that's why you don't see any huge trees out there, too, isn't it, Aaron? I saw some trees, but they were just small in comparison to what we have out here. Yeah, I know it. Yours is 55,000. Mine's 5,000. That's the size town I like. Yeah, James. Yeah, it's Tornado Alley. That's for sure. Uh, I went through Oklahoma a couple times, and I went through the last time. It's been a while since I was through Oklahoma. The last time I was there was the weekend right after the Oklahoma bombing, after they blew up the Murr building, and it was right there on I-40 at the time. Now they've moved I-40. They said around. It's not even in the same location, and we went right by where they were out there trying to rescue all those people, and it was something else. Yeah, it'll spook you seeing something like that. That was an eerie feeling, knowing that many people had died just a few days earlier, and they were trying to rescue the bodies and if anybody was still in there or whatever. But it was eerie to see half of a building and see all that they had all these huge lights like a football stadium, because we went through there at night, and it was lit up like a football game, and those workers out there working away. I mean, it was not a pretty sight, that's for sure. Yep, I bet so. That's what they always say, a train coming through, isn't it? Well, guys, my breath is running out. I've enjoyed it this morning. A lot of people probably still snuggling in bed and aren't going to see this, but that's okay. They can see it on the replay. But I'm gonna head on down to the house, help my pretty wife out, and hopefully we'll have us a nice Christmas. I hope everybody out there has a great Christmas. Let's celebrate. What's the other one? I forget what the other one was. There's another one. There's another one you do like this. Is this the one? Let me see what I'm getting with two thumbs down. There's something I can get with, or what is it? I'm trying. There we go. We'll do all of our celebration there on the screen. Y'all have a great day, guys. Take care, and I'll catch you out here next week.